Everyone has a bright light inside of them that deserves to be seen by the world. That's why it's time to shine the light on the extraordinary who are accomplishing phenomenal things. This is the Shine Out Loud Show with Lillian Obogo.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever in the world you are, and welcome to another episode of the Shine Out Loud Show with me, Lillian Obogo. Now, I have an incredible woman who is known as the backbone of social media and branding to a lot of entrepreneurs. She actually decided to create for her an avenue and a way for her to actually share with the world what she does by helping entrepreneurs like you and myself, like you and me, put our best face forwards of our brands. She works in video branding, visual branding, and not only does she work in that branding space, she's also the founder of the female entrepreneurs for the Mauritian community. I'm talking about Namita Kabilas. Hey, Namita.
Hi, Lillian. Hi.
How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Yes, I'm very well, thanks, and I'm so happy to be here with you.
Awesome. Now, we talk about you wearing many hats because you've started from a project videographer, you do branding, visual branding, video branding. How did you find yourself in brand consulting?
Okay, so how I got into branding was, so when I set up my business as a videographer. So when I set up my business, I was just a videographer to begin with.
Right.
I was a production videographer, and what I did was I grew all kinds of businesses with video content, all types of video content, ranging from promotional videos, events, filming, online courses, even short films.
Right.
So during the here I very much I did everything myself. I filmed, I produced, I planned, I edited, and I even distributed my client videos. So I wore many hats there myself. But then it was during the distribution process, I distributed my client videos on their social media channels. So from there, I was very much helping businesses craft the right online presence with videos on their social media. So that went very well. My business clients were satisfied with the results they're getting through the online presence. And from that, I got requests to do social media, to do social media campaigning, social media management. And so that's a good opportunity for me to grow further to the next level. And so this is where I evolved from a videographer to an all-inclusive in-house marketing and branding agency, helping many entrepreneurs across the world, helping them build successful, profitable businesses by crafting them the right brand presence for them online.
Okay, so let's look at this. Everybody talks about branding and there's so much conversation around it. So why is branding, especially using video right now, so important to a business and its success?
Yeah. So, video it's very important today because it allows us to communicate our messages in the most fast and easy way to our audiences. And plus, with video, it just allows us to just communicate to the world, to our audiences, in the most personal way possible. It really adds a human edge to who you are as a person, to your brand, rather than just relying on so many pictures, stock images, graphics. It's good, it looks good, but nothing beats a good video. Because the more people see you as a person through video, they build more trust in you. And this is how you build a good relationship with your audience. The more they see you, the more trust they build into you. And this is where they're likely to buy from you and want to connect with you.
So basically you're saying that with video, it builds that instant connection, it builds that trust. People get to kind of feel like they know who is behind that brand, who's behind that business. But what if you're dealing with someone who's introverted, who's like, oh my God, I don't like being on camera. How can an introvert actually build your brand with videos successfully?
Yeah. Okay. So if you're completely new and camera shy, and I have worked with entrepreneurs before who have never done this before, what I do is I suggest to them, I give them an exercise to do, just
Okay.
starting from at home using their phone, smartphone, just practice, because we have to all do it one day. And it's great. What I would do is I ask those who are camera shy, I ask them to just film short videos of themselves, like deliver such tips they would deliver to their clients, or such topical tips that they specialize in. Just practice using the smartphone.
Mm-hmm.
Just a few seconds, or even up to 30 seconds, and replay it. Yes, it may look daunting at first, but it's a good exercise. And the more you do it, your confidence will grow. So, and it's a great way for all of us, it helps us step out of our comfort zone as well. It's something that you never regret. So, the jump to video, it's going to help you boost your confidence, help you communicate effectively to the world. And also it's all about getting yourself out there, because, and this is how people are learning today. They're all learning through the eyes.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've seen some changes in the last few months with the introduction of platforms like Clubhouse and all the other ones that are springing up, where it's listen only. So there's no video, even though it's a social media platform. How can, with the work that you do with your clients, how can you help them leverage something like Clubhouse?
Okay. So with Clubhouse, yes, I'm not a regular user of Clubhouse myself, but say if it's audio only, I would actually go beyond. I would try various means of communication. So it's not just about audio and video, but I would just try a variety of all types of content. So not just video, but audio is also good, pictures, even personal updates from yourself as well, sharing your audiences, your story, the lessons you've learned, your journey, so that they can relate with you. So this can be through the forms of video, not just videos, but also still images, and also even short reels as well. Such as on Instagram, they have Instagram reels, images, and even short audio snippets.
Okay.
So, a good balance.
Okay, so that's fine. So we're talking about, what you're talking about is balance. And so using Clubhouse is great, but what you can also do is when you're going to have your Clubhouse conversations, you also do a video beforehand, let people know you're going to be having those conversations to actually help draw the audience eye as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's using all kinds of mediums, all kinds of content, rather than just solely relying on one platform or one channel. It's good to diversify.
Great. So, there used to be a saying that says there's no such thing as bad publicity, but in our social media driven world, is that true? Because we've seen some people do things and you're like, not just do this.
All right. Yeah. So with social media, yes, there is a good side to it, but there's also the downside to it is, yes, it's, you just got to be careful what you put out there. So I would suggest with social media, it's really, really down to how you use it. Are you using it to communicate to people in your niche? Are you using it to talk to friends? Are you using it to keep up to date with the news and have your say? Are you using it to promote your business? So you got to think carefully, what is it you're using social media for? Sorry. Yeah. And And yes, I would. For me, what I have this in mind. I have the following tip is to use as a business in particular. I would say use social media to inspire,
Hmm.
inform, educate, entertain.
Right.
Yeah, um, yeah. Um, those are my three ways of using it.
Okay.
So it all depends on how you're using it really, and the language you use too.
Okay. So you're saying that even though in life that whole saying of, there's no such thing as bad publicity, you want to be careful for and don't misstep, because we are now in a culture where everything is instantaneous. Social media, especially if you put it with hashtags, people can see it. So you
Yeah,
don't want to put anything that could damage your brand.
that's right. Yes, yes. Um, if somebody says something damaging about my brand, then you know I would take it in the like, I don't, I would don't want to dwell into it and create a stir. Go. I would just come up with a way to balance things out as well,
Right.
to just line up the conversation, um, and um, and also another way to do this is to just that's the people say harsh things, that's them. I wouldn't react further to that. I would just
Okay.
move on. Um, so I so yeah, because remember, you as a person, you have your own reputation, you have your
Hmm.
um, your own personality. Um, you've got an image to keep up.
Yeah.
Um, it would be damaging to you if you would just dwell into the bad publicity and continue the conversations from the bad publicity, because it will also be
Absolutely.
damaging to your image. Um,
Okay.
I would say keep on being yourself.
Right. Okay, so we're going to move from that. So when we're looking at social media, and we're talking about social media right now, is
Yeah.
with people losing their social media account to hackers,
Hmm.
brand mismanagement, and such. What else do you recommend business owners do to still build a consistent visual brand that they, in a way that they can own their content? So if, for say, Instagram goes down, they don't lose all the work that they've
Yeah.
done. How would you advise them to go about this?
Yeah. So the advice that I would say is all the content that you create, keep a consistent presence. Try as many, uh, do like create your presence on as many platforms as possible to begin with, and see what works well.
Right.
And all the content that you create, obviously have a copy on file too. Um, but the main point is just rather just relying on one platform only. For instance, just Instagram. Use Twitter, use LinkedIn, make use of other social platforms you have available. Use Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, because the more channels you use, then the more content you create yourself, and also your networks will increase even further,
Mhm.
raising your chances for more opportunities and more clients building up. So, and you'll also create a much more fuller picture of who you are as a brand as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're looking at brand and we're looking at growing our brand. So
Mm.
how important is adaptability in branding? Because a lot of times we see people going, okay, this is my brand, this is my brand.
Mhm.
How, and then sometimes you think, okay, this is not quite working. How do you adapt a brand to grow?
Okay, how do I adapt a brand? So what I would look into is, first of all, look into your audience.
Mhm.
Know your audience very well. Know their tastes, their lifestyle, their needs, their wants, their issues. Because the more you know your audience, the more you know your audience, then the more accurate your content is going to be to them. And
Mhm.
it's going to make your brand more understandable to them.
Yes.
Um, and also keep an eye out on the trends happening with your audience, and or even such issues that your business deals with, or any issues that you specialize in. I would say keep an eye out on the news as well, like any latest trends happening, any events happening, so that so that you're also making your presence more relatable to your target market too.
Okay.
But yes, I would suggest, my core tip is to know your audience. To make your brand more relevant, know your audience.
All right, so that's keeping it with the relevancy, but how do you adapt your brand? How do you say, okay, I want to make some changes? How important is adaptability for you to be able to adapt that brand and say, okay, before I was doing one particular thing, how do you start adapting and moving that brand around to say, okay, I want to focus on something else?
Okay, so yes, so the second thing would be to look at your own values, look at your own message. What is it that you have to offer to the world? What is it you have to offer to your audience?
Right.
As well. That's your unique value there. And then you can craft your presence around this unique value, creating a presence that not just defines yourself as who you are and the values that you deliver, but also your audience as well. So, so you're also making your brand, you're also making it more adaptable to them as well.
Awesome. So
define yourself.
Awesome. Thank you for that. So let's ask this question. What are some of the aspects of a decent social media campaign? What do we need to look for first when we start creating a social media campaign?
Okay, so the key elements to creating a good social media campaign. So number one is know your audience.
Okay.
Obviously know your audience. And I've said this before, the more you know your audience, the more accurate your content will be to them, making your brand identifiable. So know your audience. Also, have the right look.
Yeah.
So it's important that you have the right look. So think of font styles, brand colors, logos, having a good catchy logo, because that way you're going to create a presence that's just striking, memorable, with structure and professional. Right. So the right look is everything. And then lastly, you may have good content and a good appearance, but it's not successful without consistency. Mm-hmm. This is it. This is what's going to make your presence even more visible. It's going to be engaging for your market. It's consistency. You need to, I would say, be consistent once a day, at least. Do posting once a day. Because the more consistent you are, the more content you will create, the fuller and convincing picture you create of your business to your customers. But also, you also build more trust as well. And you also raise your visibility to the next level. Your audience will be more familiar with you as a brand, as an entrepreneur. So it's all down to consistency, the success of your campaigns. If you're not consistent, then your presence goes down. You won't develop that much of an active status, and people will miss you. Where it's
okay. So
your business basically disappears.
So let me get this straight. So what you're saying is, first of all, make sure that you know your audience, because the more you know your audience, the more you're able to deliver and content that speaks directly to their problems, the heart of what it is. And then you want to also have the right look, choosing the right colors and brands for what you want for your business, for what it speaks for your business. And then you're talking about the consistency being the key, because once you're inconsistent, if you're not posting regularly, and consistency for one person may mean different things, that you then become at the mercy of the algorithms, which means that your content is not seen as often as possible and is not shared. Is that correct?
Yeah. So for me, consistency is everything. It's the most important element.
Okay.
It's important that we maintain an active presence as much as possible, especially if you run your own business. You need to stay in the market and make others know that you're here to serve them.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so consistency is key. So with everything you're currently doing in the UK, you've also found time to create a community of entrepreneurial women in Mauritius, known as Femme. What inspired the creation?
Okay, so what really inspired me to set up this community, and it's a good cause that I'm doing, is so after being in just over 5 years. Well, it's going on 6 years I've been in business now. So after 6 years being in business, I've just learned so much, being my own boss. I've learned, there's so many lessons that I've learned, and I went through a lot of challenges, learned some skills, met amazing people, amazing connections. And from there, I just thought it'd be really nice to just set up my own community serving women in Mauritius, in my home country, Mauritius,
Right.
helping women out there turn their skills, strengths, and talents into successful, profitable businesses. So
That's amazing. So is this something virtual? Is it something that, do you have workshops, master classes? How are you supporting these women to actually get them off and running as entrepreneurs?
Yeah. So it's a new project. It's just started in January and it's still in development. So what I'm doing is, for now it's virtual. I'm running networking events every 2 weeks, and gatherings, online gatherings every 2 weeks for all the members to come together, get to meet other like-minded entrepreneurs, or even I even target aspiring entrepreneurs, those who want to start their own business, but they need a space where they can have access to the right tools, expert advice, so that they make fruitful connections and secure some good and have some good opportunities to thrive. And I also target existing entrepreneurs who just wants to move their business to the next level, meet other like-minded people, and get some collaborations in as well.
Awesome. So how can people find out more about Femme, and is it open to women not from Mauritius, or is it just solely for women from Mauritius?
Yeah, now it's aimed at it's aimed at Mauritian women around the world. So women solely from Mauritius, yes, but also Mauritian women across the globe, even Mauritian women in the UK, across Europe, or in the States, or in America, or in America. So it's more of a Mauritian women's community. And I do have a website in development, which is not released yet, but I'll have more details on my social media.
Okay.
At Namita Kabilas.
Awesome. So once that link is ready, please share it with us and we'll add it to your show notes so people can go and find out a bit more. And, in case they want to be able to, connect with you, either to talk about being able to offer mentoring or other things like that for your community. So, you're talking about mentoring and talking about supporting these other women. How has mentoring played a role in your own life?
Yeah, well, so are you talking about mentoring, being mentored, or
yes,
being a mentor myself?
Mentored.
Me being mentored. Yeah, well, mentoring has played a huge part in my life and in my career as well. And also it's one of the best investments that I've made. And it's changed the way I run my business for good. I remember the first 2 years of my business, 2.5 years, my business has been a challenge for me. I had to make a lot of sacrifices, and I had to also, all the money that I was earning from my production jobs, I actually saved all that up and used those funds to set up my business. But for me, I feel, I was ready to just take things the next step by having a mentor, having a coach with me. And that changed my business, changed my life. I have more structure. I've also developed my mindset further, my entrepreneurial mindset. I've developed a good system in place as well. Awesome. And and I'm earning a lot more as well. It's changed the way how I get sales. It's the best. It's a good investment. I would say if anybody's talking about mentoring, or if they want to have a mentor, I'd say just make the step.
Brilliant. Okay, so mentoring is crucial for our growth as women in business. Mentoring is something that we absolutely need. So, Namita,
Yeah,
thank you for that point because
yeah,
sometimes we are so quick to think we just need to network, we just need this, but
yeah,
also sometimes taking that moment to actually say, how do we grow ourselves is really, really crucial.
yeah, yeah.
So,
It's good to work on yourself as a leader.
yeah, exactly. And speaking of yourself as a leader, what are some of the books that have influenced you so far?
Oh, okay. Well, one thing, one of the books that I feel touched by was The Miracle Morning
Okay.
by How Elrod. Um, so this book is fantastic because it's all about the power of the mornings and how waking up early can change your day,
Hmm.
change your energy levels, make you feel so much good about your days, create a much more productive day by waking up early. And it works. When you build yourself a good morning routine, it does give you, it does make you feel good and helps you prepare for the day to come. Um, and yeah, that's one book I would recommend for all entrepreneurs out there, because the more when you have a good start to the morning, it sets your vibe
Yeah,
throughout the day.
absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, so that's
Okay.
one of the best reads that I like.
Right. Oh, awesome. And so, you're talking about setting up your day, you're talking about setting up your time and being more effective. So, how do you also practice self-care as a business leader, as a woman in business? What are your current self-care practices?
Okay, so one self-care practice I like to do in the morning, um, for me, I like to actually do some exercise. I like to have a nice 15, 20-minute workout um, every morning, every weekday morning, to just wake my body up
Hmm.
and also feel energized, refreshed as well. Um, so what I like to do is just wake my body up uh, with a little workout as
Awesome.
well. Yeah, yeah. And then also what I like to do at the end of the day is I like to um, I like to journal.
Hmm.
I like journaling. It's a good way to record my thoughts down, what went well in my days, what I could do better. Um, because when I journal, it also helps me connect with my thoughts and feelings.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I like to journal and do part of meditation as well. Like just it doesn't have to be intense, like for a good 15, 20 minutes. Just 5 minutes alone,
Mm.
like in stillness. Because every day, especially when we work, our minds are everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's good to have at least just 5 minutes, just in silence, nothing, no strings attached to your
Mm.
mind, just total silence and breathe. And it just
Yeah.
gives me a rest.
Mm. It gives you that
Yeah.
moment to just refresh your mind and just focus in that moment on just nothing.
Yeah, yeah. And that I do not just in the evening, I do it in the morning or an afternoon, any time of the day when I feel like it.
Hmm.
So you really have to listen to your body.
Mm. No, that's
Yeah,
really important. Yes. So, how
yeah.
do you bounce back, with these self-care practices under your belt? How do you bounce back from setbacks?
Had from sorry, I
From
from
setbacks.
how do I bounce back from setbacks? Um, so 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 with any with if I have a setback, what I would do is I just take some I take some time out.
Hmm.
Um, I just listen to my intuition. I
Hmm.
just think what's good for myself. What can I deal with it? Um, Basically, I just take a break for a while, to take some time out, and I just focus on just feeling good. I do
Right.
the things that help me feel good, whether it's to go out for a walk or whether it's for a nap or meditate or just go, stay in stillness. I just do the things that make me feel good. Just take a break from it all, and then and then I come up with ways in how I can resolving problems, or helps me just because when I do things that make me feel good, it triggers my creativity for me to help me solve problems much more effectively as well. Yeah. So,
I like that. I do
yeah.
like that. I like the fact that you say you stop, you take a moment, you ask yourself what is good for you in this moment. I love the fact that you go through that self-inquiry first, then move your body, find things that gives you joy before tackling the problem.
Yeah. I just take a break and I just focus on feeling good, you know, and then I go back.
Okay.
So,
Awesome. So here's my, last couple of questions. What's next for you? What tell us about your future projects?
Okay, my future projects. So what I have, so is this what I have coming up?
Yes.
Okay. So some things that I have lined up that's happening in my agency is I'm going beyond as well as performing social media projects. I'm also doing a brand consulting and management. And this is something I'd like to do as well in 5 years' time, like solely specialize in brand consulting and management. So just started this new service this year. So brand consulting and management. So it's all about helping entrepreneurs make their ideas, how to create profitable ideas. Well, profitable ideas, and how to make their ideas more profitable.
Okay.
And how they can build a successful, engaging brand that customers not just love but need.
That's awesome. I like that. Not just love but need.
Yes. So yeah, of course. And there I don't just specialize in social media, but we cover everything. I look into websites, good website design, creating good websites, blogs, newsletters, videos as well. How you can craft your own video channel, and how you can create good video content, as well as social media.
Right.
As well. So I'll cover all the elements of a good online presence.
All right.
That connects.
Yeah. Awesome. I am looking forward to discovering more about that and discovering more about what you're doing with your brand consultant. And how can people actually connect with you and stay in touch with you?
Yeah, I'm happy for us to connect. You can find me on Instagram at Namita Kabilas. I'm also on Twitter at Namita Kabilas. And you can find me on LinkedIn.
Okay. And that's under your name as well. And okay. And what about your website? Do they can they jump on your website and connect with you?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I have my website, which is www.namitakabilas.com. You can find out more about me.
Awesome. Namita, thank you so much for being on the show. I have absolutely loved interviewing you. So thank you for being here.
Oh, it's a great pleasure. And thank you so much for having me.
You're so welcome. Guys, it's a wrap. You know what to do. You want to find out more about Namita. Her links are in the show notes down below. Click through, find out more about the work that she does, and actually find out what inspires her brands, how she helps brand owners actually create the perfect brand. And I've known Namita myself personally for a while. She actually worked on the Shine Out Loud show brand as well. And so her work is, there's a consistency to the work that she does. She creates images that speak for that brand. So go discover more about her, and you know what to do. If you like the show, give us a like, give us a review. You can find us on the socials. You can find us wherever you get your good podcasts. So go listen, do what you need to do. It's a wrap. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.